Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on Topstar channel 106 on Kenstream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel at Camnet TV. Here are the headlines in our news tonight. Police to summon CHABINGA over alleged threats of violence. CAAC calls for the resignation of DPP, cites leniency in high-profile cases. Still in local news, Zambia recovers millions in corruption crackdown. And in international news, Dangote warns INFLUX on Russian fuel threatens Africa's refining industry. And in sports news, Arsenal edges AC Milan 1-0 losses in penalty shootout. Do join me with the details shortly after this break.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. Police have disclosed that they will summon Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert CHABINGA to assist with investigations into alleged threats he made against Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba and Dr. Sishua during a live online press briefing. The Zambia Police Service says an inquiry file has been opened following a report lodged by Chilubi MP Francis Fobe on July 22, 2025 at Lusaka Central Police Station. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the complaint stems from a Kalemba media live stream aired on 20th July 2025, where Mr. CHABINGA was allegedly seen and heard threatening to deal with Mwamba and Sishua. He reportedly accused the two of circulating damaging articles about him, prompting Mr. Fobe to raise concern over what he described as a proposal of violence. Police say Mr. CHABINGA's remarks are now under investigations and he is expected to appear before investigators to provide his side of the story. The authorities have cautioned all parties to remain calm and allow the legal process to unfold without interference or speculation.
The Zambia Police Service at Lusaka Central Police Station has opened an inquiry file following a report made yesterday, the 22nd of July 2025 at 14 hours by Honorable Francis Mulenga Fube, aged 50, of plot number 21330, Chamba Valley in Lusaka. He is also a Patriotic Front Member of Parliament for Chilubi constituency. Honorable Fube reported that Honorable Robert CHABINGA, also a PF Member of Parliament representing Mafinga constituency, did propose violence by allegedly issuing threats aimed at Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba and former investor of Zambia lecturer Dr. Sishua. These threats were reportedly made during a press briefing conducted via an online live broadcast on Kalemba Media platform on the 20th of July 2025 around 10 hours. According to the report, Honorable CHABINGA was seen and heard during the live broadcast allegedly threatening to deal with Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba and Dr. Sishua, accusing them of circulating damaging articles against him. This conduct prompted Honorable Fube to report the matter to the police. In light of this, the Zambia Police Service wishes to inform the public that Honorable Robert CHABINGA will be summoned to assist with investigations as part of the ongoing inquiry. We urge all involved parties to remain calm and allow the due process of the law to take its course. The Zambia Police Service reiterates its commitment to upholding public order and ensuring that political discourse remains peaceful, respectful, and within the confines of the law. Further updates will be provided as investigations progress.
The Community Action Against Corruption, CAAC, is demanding the resignation of Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Gilbert Piri, citing a weak approach to prosecuting high-profile corruption cases. The organization says a growing trend of allowing suspects to return part of their looted wealth in exchange for non-conviction-based forfeitures is undermining the fight graft and reflects a culture of impunity. CAAC Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo said it is unacceptable for law enforcement agencies to strike what he described corrupt bargains with individuals accused of plundering public resources. He added that the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, and the DPP's office have contributed to weakening Zambia's anti-corruption campaign by permitting suspects to surrender only part of their illicit gains and walk free. Mr. Tembo referred media that a former Foreign Affairs Permanent Secretary was allowed to forfeit only 23 million kwacha out of an alleged 60 million kwacha in suspected proceeds of crime.
You know, allowing high-profile suspected corrupt people to forfeit only part of their looted resources back to the state in exchange of them becoming state witnesses is a weak method of fighting corruption, and it shows hopelessness in the system of corruption fight. So you can see this method is also an indication of fighting corruption using corruption itself, because the information which is in the media that one of the permanent secretaries was allowed to bring back only 23 million kwacha out of 60 million kwacha in exchange of him becoming a state witness is a very sad situation in corruption fight. The Anti-Corruption Commission and Drug Enforcement Commission, including the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, have been insisting on using this method, which is not okay in corruption fight. You remember the case of KCM, where the liquidator was only asked to bring back 24 million US dollars and he was allowed to go scot-free. So that is not the right way to fight corruption. So we can only appeal, to the Director of Public Prosecutions to resign if he thinks this is the only method which is very amicable to fight executive crime from those top government officials. So that office, if he resigns, is going to create a way for another DPP who can send shivers in the would-be corrupt people, both from the previous, those who served in the previous regime and the ones that are serving in the current regime.
Socialist Party National Youth Secretary Stanley Mobasa has dismissed as unfounded the United Party for National Development, UPND's claims that a recently leaked audio allegedly implicating the Zambian government in attempts to bribe the South African judiciary in the case involving the repatriation of former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is unauthentic. In an interview with Camnet TV News, Mr. Mobasa challenged the credibility of the UPND's media director in declaring the audio to be artificially generated, arguing that such a determination should come from qualified technology experts. He cautioned the competence of the UPND's media team to make technical conclusions on the authenticity of the audio without provision of forensic analysis. Mr. Mobasa further accused the ruling party of attempting to divert public attention from what he described as a serious national issue. He criticized recent statements by the UPND that shifted focus to the circulation of pornographic videos, suggesting it was a deliberate tactic to deflect scrutiny from the bribery allegations.
It's first of all important to state that this is not the first audio that has leaked. We are reminded of an audio that implicated Honorable Levi Ngoma, the political advisor, and P.S. Akafumba, not long ago. Should be in 2023 if I'm not mistaken. They did not, we were told they were going to go ahead with investigations. They didn't tell us whether it was real or not. Their silence suggested to us that they were ashamed to come back to us and tell us about the facts, because they knew that indeed they were involved in that audio. But the latest one is a big news for us, because it also does not only border on morality of leadership, it also talks about issues of corruption. If you can have officials that are aligned with the administration of the UPND today caught up in an audio where they are scheming and strategizing that they should use all means necessary and possible to get a judgment of their wish, then we must get worried. We know that Honorable CHABINGA is very excited, and is very excited with power. Even the statements that he's been issuing, it's because he appears that he knows that he's got the defense of the executive. If somebody can begin threatening violence, it simply means that they are disregarding the law. In a normal society, by now, somebody else should have, gone to CHABINGA's residence and picked him up for investigations relating to the proposal of violence in Mfue constituency. To simply state it, we are saying we are disregarding those remarks even made by Max Moe that it is AI. Max Moe himself is not an IT specialist or a technologist expert.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, says the revival and expansion of flying doctor services is transforming healthcare delivery for citizens in remote parts of Zambia. Speaking during a media briefing, UPND Media Director Mark Simoe said that when the party took office, the flying doctor services was only conducting 1 or 2 outreach programs per month due to dilapidated infrastructure and grounded aircraft. He revealed that the government has acquired 2 fixed-wing planes, 2 wing-engine aircraft, and a helicopter, with a chopper enabling access to extremely isolated areas. Mr. Simoe added that the transformation extends beyond outreach, as a state-of-the-art flying doctor hospital with modern medical equipment, including an oxygen plant and diagnostic scanners, has been established. He also cited ongoing works on level 1 hospitals in Dola, Chamboli, Chililawombwe, and other areas, all part of government efforts to decentralize quality healthcare.
Then we have upgraded the fleet of aircrafts. We have 2 fixed-winged planes, plus 1 chopper. The idea of having a chopper is for us to get to areas where even a winged plane cannot reach, because a chopper can land anywhere. That is how we've managed to have 8 to 10 outreach programs in a month. It is as a result of these initiatives where government has procured these facilities. Now, in addition to that, I mentioned that we found dilapidated institutions. Today we have a state-of-the-art hospital with modern equipments, with an oxygen plant, with scanners, and with equipments that many hospitals, specialized hospitals in Lusaka have. It is one of its kind. 2 weeks ago, you saw that the admission ward at this particular flying doctor hospital was being commissioned. Another hospital is there around the tower, Kansanshi. I think there are about 3 hospitals within Ndola which relate to flying doctor services. These to us are achievements, because we believe that instead of allowing citizens who are living in the remote areas to die because there were no services, this particular initiative is so timely for the people of Zambia. It is a human interest kind of development, because it is centered on citizens of the Republic of Zambia.
Stanbic Bank, in collaboration with the National Road Fund Agency (NRFA), has launched a cashless toll payment system aimed at reducing congestion and enhancing convenience for motorists across Zambia. Speaking during the launch, Stanbic Bank CEO Mwenda Siakalima said the new system will allow road users to make prepaid toll payments via the bank Smart Pay platform and top up their tokens at any Stanbic branch nationwide. He said the move is part of a broader push toward digital transformation and improved efficiency in the transport sector. Meanwhile, NRFA Chief Executive Officer Daniel Mutonga said the partnership is expected to boost revenue collection while improving the user experience on Zambian roads. He described the collaboration as a successful example of a public-private partnership PPP delivering real benefits to citizens. Mr. Siakalima further emphasized that the financial services sector must play a leadership role in supporting key areas of the economy such as transport and logistics.
But I also wish to take this opportunity to provide an update that the ministry will, by the second quarter of next month, hand over ambulances that were purchased under the CDF in excess of 100 pieces. And currently we have in our custody 76 pieces, and we have 12 that just docked in Dar es Salaam just about 2 days ago, and we have another 12 that are docking in Beira in the next 5 days, and we have another 18 that are docking on the 8th of August in Durban, South Africa. And so by the second week of August, the ministry will facilitate for the official handover of over 100 pieces of ambulances to the respective local authorities.
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up in footage. Here is a bright clip.
We're thus pleased today that after successful engagements with the NRFA and progress, we've enabled toll cards to be prepaid and topped up online using the Stanbic Bank Smart Pay platform. In addition, motorists can also top up their toll cards from our branches, and this service is available to the public. So you can walk into a Stanbic branch anywhere in Zambia and you can top up the e-toll cards using the Stanbic branches. What we'd like to encourage though is for you to use digital means, since we are going digital, and would like to promote the digital aspects around how we then transact and avoid the usage of cash.
Following a successful pilot phase, we are proud now to welcome Stanbic as the first bank to offer its digital platform, Smart Pay, to support e-toll prepayments. Stanbic Bank, welcome aboard. We also extend our sincere gratitude to our partners, e-toll distributors and merchants, many of whom are present here today. Your efforts have made the tolling experience more connected, cashless, and convenient for our clients.
Today, our organization is going to process over 600 million in collections for both the National Road Fund Agency and many of the now PPP operators that are operating private toll plazas.
The Financial Intelligence Center FIC 10th edition report has revealed that Zambia has recovered millions of kwacha and foreign currency through intensified enforcement efforts against financial crimes. The report highlights significant gains made under the UPND government's anti-corruption drive led by President Hakainde Hichilema. According to the report, the Law Enforcement Directorate LED secured 3 conviction-based and 7 non-conviction-based forfeitures, resulting in the recovery of over $2.5 billion, 70 million kwacha in properties, and more than 1.5 million kwacha and $24 million held in various bank accounts. The FIC also noted a decline in public sector corruption cases relative to other financial crimes like money laundering and tax evasion. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo said the government's stance on corruption is yielding tangible results. However, the center flagged ongoing threats such as cyber fraud, illicit login, and $3.5 billion United States dollars in suspected illicit financial flows involving multinational enterprises.
The Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security welcomes the release of the 10th edition of the Financial Intelligence Report, which highlights significant progress in Zambia's fight against financial crime and reinforces the UPND government's commitment to a transparent financial system. The FIC notes a marked reduction in public sector corruption cases compared to money laundering, fraud, and tax evasion, underscoring the effectiveness of our anti-corruption measures. Under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, the government has declared zero tolerance to corruption and committed to fight past, present, and future corruption with no sacred cows. Through collaboration with the Zambia Revenue Authority, tax assessments reached 28.9 billion in 2024, up from 1.2 billion in 2023, covering principal tax, interest, and penalties, subject to collection.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has disclosed that it will officially hand over 100 ambulances procured under the Constituents Development Fund (CDF) to local authorities across the country in the second week of August. Speaking during a major briefing in Lusaka this morning, Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Mr. Nicholas Piri, confirmed that the ambulances are currently being imported from various ports and will soon be dispatched to their designated constituencies. Mr. Piri stated that 76 ambulances are already in the ministry's custody, with an additional 12 having docked in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Another 12 are expected to arrive in Beira, Mozambique within 5 days, while 18 more are scheduled to dock in Durban, South Africa on 8 August 2025. He added that the ministry is finalizing registration and insurance procedures to ensure all vehicles are roadworthy and compliant with national transport regulations before being handed over.
But I also wish to take this opportunity to provide an update that the ministry will, by the second quarter of next month, hand over ambulances that were purchased under the CDF in excess of 100 pieces. And currently we have in our custody 76 pieces, and we have 12 that just docked in Dar es Salaam just about 2 days ago. And we have another 12 that are docking in Beira in the next 5 days. And we have another 18 that are docking on the 8th of August in Durban, South Africa. And so by the second week of August, the ministry will facilitate for the official handover of over 100 pieces of ambulances to the respective local authorities. I must mention here that currently we are working on the registration modalities so that these pieces of equipment are properly insured and registered, and this is what will take us up to the second week of August.
Malabo residents in Mongo district of Western Province are appealing to government to construct some teachers' houses and boarding dormitories for pupils at Malabo Primary School. Malabo Primary School has a total of more than 600 pupils coming from various places in the Barotse floodplains. Speaking to Camnet News in Malabo area, Sawasha Masisani is appealing to government to construct some teachers' houses and boarding dormitories for pupils. Ms. Samisani stated that some teachers combine in one house while others reside in a classroom block. She further said the place also lacks a clinic, which makes pupils and residents difficult to access health services. Ms. Samisani is appealing to government to put up infrastructure at the school. Meanwhile, a comment from Mongo District Board Secretary failed during press time. We have the details in the following report.
More than 700 kilometers from Mungu town, this is Malabo Primary School, located in the Barros floodplains in Mungu district of Western Province. The school lacks infrastructure such as teachers' accommodation and boarding facilities, as most people have to paddle for them to reach at the school. Speaking to Camnet News in Malabo area, some parents are appealing to government to construct boarding facilities at the school and teachers' houses.
Utata wolf manafa school fa baluti baluna haba na mandu bakopanera mwa mandu kona kuli abalukulu hihande kakuli mandu ali tenke amainyani chole kwanda lukupa muso kuli ulutuse kwateni mandu abaluti kuli baluti baluna bayoyerwe mamandu bayinenge bayiketire
na bakeni hande likolo mi nelukupa kuli kambe muso no kalutali makulu ya hela shelter abanana kuli bakone kuto inanga fast kolofa ku salabu 5 bakutabeho bataza kuchakwa bashimba gone yo kono butata bo bona haisa kuli banana abakeni hande sikolo mita bayo mana ape kwekeza fate ni kulekeleza kwa ni haiba 1/3 mufera yeli tena muso nilukupa likambe walo ekeleza ni kama class.
And one of Malabo residents, Sawacha Masisan, is appealing to government to construct some teachers' houses and a clinic at the school, stating that teachers find it difficult to be accommodated in the classroom block as the school lacks infrastructure.
Kufumana kutata kwa mana ni skolo sarunase bakensa kwiruizi mwabulozi banana banyanda batanga kamikolo imifuku mukubanga ni moya kona kuli banana aba mane batsibanga imimo kufumani hani banana baba inyani ba baby class ni ba grade 1 basa konekutata chole kiharu kupa kwa muso kulwezeze kwa teni ka body ni kuli banana mwana kwa inanga mwateni kapuri banana bakakona kushera mwa mezi ape kuzwa 4 haruna spatela fafa malago banana ne bakakula akuna baruti kwa bakona kumuisa spatela sauna kufumani akwa ule kwa Mungu ni kwali aruyi kuzwa kwa teni mwandu kona kukuya kwa teni kona kufeta 2 hours ingeruza maya nebe bayi mabaruna phangata bapruheranga mu manzira bakensa kuliki kwa uli chole kiharu kupa muso kuli urutusi baruti baruna baba mu bayina mwa maklasi mwa office kona mwa bayina abana mandu akuli balobale mwateni kona zoka fera kiza kiharu kupa kwa muso kuli muso urubonere kwa teni mandu abaruti baruna banyanda balobala mu mandu akumatea.
A comment from Mungu District Board Secretary failed fatal during press time. Musewa Kabira, Camnet News in Malabo area in Mungu District, Western Province.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has launched the country's first national guidelines for the sustainable use of wetlands in Zambia. The launch, hosted by Zambia Sugar PLC, took place at the Nakambala Community Hall in Mazabuka District. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Sylvia Masebo, represented by Permanent Secretary Patrick Mucheleka, held Zambia Sugar PLC for demonstrating sustainable land management practices through responsible water abstraction from the river, use of efficient irrigation technologies, and working collaboratively with stakeholders of the Kapua Basin. She commended the company's efforts in responsible and sustaining resource management and encouraged others to emulate the approach. And Zambia Sugar Managing Director Oswald Mangwezi, who was represented by Corporate Affairs Director Eugene Chungu, pledged the company's commitment to upholding the guidelines. Meanwhile, UNDP country representative represented by Karo Zulu described the launch as a significant milestone, highlighting the initiative's alignment with the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. The event was attended by private and government officials, Chief Mwana Chigwala and Chief Hanjalika, among other stakeholders. We now take a set of commercials. I will be back with some international stories as well as sports news. Keep watching.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. in Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, downlights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll now continue with the rest of the news. In international news, Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote has warned that heavily discounted Russian petroleum products are flooding African markets, threatening the continent's emerging refining sector. Speaking at an oil refining in Abuja, Dangote said sanctions on Russian oil have pushed Moscow to offload fuel at steep discounts in Africa, often delivering substandard or toxic products that would be banned in the West. Despite launching Africa's largest refinery outside Lagos last year, a $20 billion facility with an initial capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, Dangote says securing local crude remains a challenge. He now plans to expand the plant to 700,000 barrels per day. He also criticized the loom flooding oil market off the coast of Togo, where international traders took over 2 million barrels. He called it a major threat to domestic refineries. Although Africa produces 7 million barrels of crude daily, only 40% of its consumption is refined locally. Here is a roundup of international news.
Africa's wealthiest man, Aliko Dangote, is sounding the alarm, warning that cheap Russian oil is flooding the continent's markets and threatening its refining industry. Speaking at a conference in Abuja, Dangote said Africa is becoming a dumping ground for discounted often substandard and even toxic fuels. Many of the products, he says, wouldn't meet safety standards in Europe or North America. Dangote blames the influx on Western sanctions that have pushed Russia to offer steep discounts, and Africa has become a new target market. He's urging African governments to act now, with tariffs, emission caps, and stronger fuel standards, before the local industry is drowned out. Despite producing 7 million barrels of crude daily, Africa still imports most of its refined fuel. But the continent still remains a small market for Russian oil products, compared to major buyers like Turkey and Brazil. In June, Russian diesel and gas oil exports to African countries dropped 30% from the previous month, totaling about 0.7 million tons. Mozambique's opposition leader Venancio Mondlane hit with 5 criminal charges, including instigation of terrorism following last year's post-election unrest. Mondlane, a fierce critic of the ruling Frelimo party, says he's being targeted for exposing what he calls massive electoral fraud during last October's election, won by President Daniel Chapo. After the vote, Mondlane led months of protests that swept across the country. The violence left at least 400 dead and 600 injured, allegedly at the hands of police. Now 31 officers are facing trial for their roles. Mondlane says he's entering court with a clear conscience and an international legal team, accusing the Chapo government of betraying a peace deal they both signed in March. That agreement sparked hope, leading to new reforms and a national reconciliation law passed in April. But tensions are rising again, and Mozambique's fragile democracy hangs in the balance.
Summary executions and enforced disappearances. These are the accusations Human Rights Watch made against Mali's armed forces and the Russian Wagner Group on Tuesday, saying that both had committed numerous crimes against men of the Fulani ethnic group. The NGO said that it documented at least a dozen Fulani men who were executed and 81 others who were forcibly disappeared by the Malian army and the Wagner Group since January of this year. The alleged crimes happened during joint operations targeting Islamist militias. According to Human Rights Watch, Islamist armed groups frequently attempt to recruit Fulani men. This has made the entire community a target for the Malian government.
In a thrilling friendly match, Arsenal secured a 1-0 win over AC Milan at the National Stadium in Singapore, but the Rosamil emerged victorious in the subsequent penalty shootout, winning 6-5. Bukayo Saka secured the winning goal in the 53rd minute, capitalizing on a beautiful cross from Jacob Kivior. AC Milan's Lorenzo Torreni made impressive serves in the second half, denying Arsenal a bigger win. The match was part of Arsenal's Asia tour, with the Gunners dominating possession and territory throughout the game. The penalty shootout saw some nail-beaten moments, with 6 of the first 10 penalties served. Arsenal's Odegaard, Nelson and Kivior had their penalties served, while Martin Zumendi, Michael Merino, Leonardo Torrens, Max Doman and Josh Nichols secured for the Gunners. AC Milan's Matteo Gabbia saved Samuel Guenze, Filippo Torrianciel, Matteo Dunti and Cristiano Comoto secured, with Lorenzo Colombo, Macha Liberel and Noah Okafor having their penalties served. Arsenal's Mario Simon sent his shot over the bar, handing Milan the win in the shootout. That's it for our main news tonight. Here is a recap of the stories making headlines. Police to summon CHABINGA over alleged threats of violence. CAAC calls for resignation of DPP, cites leniency in high-profile cases. Zambia recovers millions in corruption crackdown. In international news, Dangote warns influx on Russian fuel threatens Africa's refining industry. And in sports news, Arsenal edges AC Milan 1-0 losses in penalty shootout. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day coming from the book of Zephaniah 3 verse 17. The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will serve. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Remember, you have been catching us live on Topstar Channel 106 on Kenstream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Camnet TV. Thank you so much for watching. Good night and God bless you all.